Okay guys, it's Christmas, I'm bored, and I thought I'd just set up an experiment because I often see online questions about how should you power Starlink from USB, how should you power Starlink from a 12 volt system. And I often see people talking about using Anderson plugs and converters and straight 12 volt connections with quite thick cables, but what I wanted to show you was why I think the USB-C option might be the most versatile option and potentially maybe even the best option, but I don't want to put that out there because I know it'll be contentious. So let me run you through what I've done. Okay, so here's my 100 watt output from the back of the car. It's 100 watt USB-C. It's great, really handy for charging laptops and phones, and yeah, it's just a good option. What you can see here is I've got two cables. This one is a 5-meter cable that I connect here, and that goes to the front of my vehicle. Let me show you. Actually, I've lost it. Where is it? Here it is. So here's my 5-meter cable, and I use this when I put the Starlink in front of my sunscreen when we're camping, and that basically allows me to leave the Starlink inside and also power it conveniently. The other cable that I've got there, this other cable is a 10-meter cable I use for when I run the Starlink out away from trees and, you know, just into somewhere clear where I can get some good sky. And you can see here I've got that 10-meter cable spread out, and I've jerry-rigged up a connection that allows me to measure the voltage at the Starlink. So I twisted some wires around the end of the Starlink USB-C cable. I've got these connectors that are connected to my multimeter, and that black cable there goes into the Starlink itself. Now USB-C outputs 21 volts. It actually changes, but in most cases it outputs 21 volts, which allows it to allows devices to consume more power without suffering the voltage drop or having to have really large cables. That's why USB-C can power 100 watts, because of the higher voltage means the current's lower, the voltage drops lower, and therefore the current cables can be smaller. Now if you were powering this on a 10-meter cable like I am from 12 volts, you would need a really thick cable firstly, and then secondly you'd always be on the margin of whether the Starlink device cuts out or not. And it might not be so reliable. It will probably run hotter as well because it's drawing more current, and the converter internally has to run harder. Now the voltage range for a Starlink is 12 to 48 volts. And you don't want to be close to the 12 volt end, especially on a battery system with a long cable. Higher voltage means less voltage drop and the bigger cable you can have, and therefore the further you can have it away from obstructions. So I just thought I'd show that even with my really bad wiring and a 10-meter cable, and this wiring is literally twisted around the connector there and just poked in the end, we're losing about 1.5 volts on a 10-meter cable, but the Starlink still operates reliably. So in terms of versatility, my recommendation is to get yourself some form of 100 watt USB-C plug. That way you can avoid using the inverter to power things like your laptop and charge your phones, and you can power your Starlink. Right guys, I hope that helps. on our website, gettinglostagain.com, you can also find a handy article about different options for powering your Starlink, and also I put some links in there to buy cables and stuff from Amazon. You don't need expensive cables if you're using the USB-C option. There's also a link to the place where I got this USB-C device, power device. That was from Terra Luma, if I remember rightly. We're not sponsored, or we don't have an affiliate link for them, so links in the article. Cheers.